Good evening, and welcome to the monthly board meeting of the Dallas Independent School District Board of Trustees. Please stand and join us for a moment of silence and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and salute to the Texas flag. Trustees present, starting on your left and my right, are Trustee Audrey Pinkerton, Trustee Lou Blackburn, Trustee Dan Mitchke. On my left, your right, is Trustee Justin Henry, and we're joined by Trustee Dustin Marshall. I am Edwin Flores. We're also joined by Trustee Joyce Foreman and our Superintendent of Schools. Si hay alguien que necesita los servicios de un intérprete, aquí la señorita, el joven, les puede ayudar con el equipo. Gracias. Trustees, are there any elected officials we need to recognize that are in the audience? Okay, so we will move on to Section 2, presentation of board recognitions. Ms. Gully, will you read the recognitions, please? Ms. Proctor.
Good evening. Superintendent Hinojosa, Trustee Foreman, Destiny Miles, Principal Smith, and Coach Fortson, please come forward. The board is honored to present a certificate of recognition to Destiny Miles. Destiny Miles of Kimball High School placed first in the 5A Girls State Wrestling Championship. Destiny competed in the 148 weight pound class at the state finals on Saturday, February 23rd at the Berry Center in Cypress, Texas. Destiny finished the season with a record of 44-1. Congratulations, Destiny. Thank you, Destiny. Superintendent Hinojosa, please remain standing. Trustee Henry, Principal Marion Willard, and Coach Damian Mobley, please come forward. The board is honored to present certificates of recognition to the great James Madison High School boys basketball team. Team members, please come forward as your name is called. Dominique Robinson, Jalen Thibodeau, Dyshawn King, Christian Henry, Jerome Rogers, Tavares Weaver, Jody Leggins, Leonard Miles IV, Trayvon Sampson, Jalen King, Taylor Moten, Darius Kinney, and Warren Dunn. Manager Pierre Hunter, Assistant Coach Terrence Sanders, Stats Tracy Flintroy and Kristen Johnson, Athletic Trainer Chase Kaiser, and Athletic Coordinator Marcus L. Gates. The Madison boys basketball team won the 3A Boys State Basketball Championship on Saturday, March 9th in San Antonio with a score of 49-48 against Brock High School. This is the second state championship for Madison in 3 years. Congratulations, Madison Trojans.
We want to thank, first of all, our Kimball young lady for her great state championship. I did not get to go to that championship, but I do want to thank her and congratulate her. I saw a great article about her. Also got a chance to watch Madison early in the year, and they found a way. They always play tough competition early so they can get ready for the ship. And they went to this championship, and one of these young men got MVP. Another one made a clutch free throw. He needs to teach a couple of the Mavericks how to shoot free throws under pressure. But it was a fantastic win. Miss Willard and Coach Mobley, thank you for bringing the great James Madison back again. And, of course, Mr. Henry was there along with his daughter. So we want to thank everybody. Our athletic director, our athletic team, it was a great event. We made everybody, these young men, very well behaved and classy, and they made us all proud. And great competition, but also great success. So, Mr. Henry, I don't know if you want to add anything to your experience.
Yeah, I'll be brief. Like I said, I went down there with my daughter. What I wanted to speak to the team, and Coach Mobley definitely being a strong leader of men. The season didn't start out necessarily how the team wanted to, so this team is just a definition of resilience, even when they're playing from behind. And secondly, they went down there and they went up early, a lot of points. And, you know, basketball is a game of runs. The team came back. They came together. They had strong character, and they ended up winning. So just a testament to what it means to be resilient. There's always going to be struggles in life, but you definitely taught them well. They've adopted that model of just continue to be resilient through struggles, through challenges. They're always going to be there. So congratulations to all of you for being resilient and being good champions. That's the way to do it.
Thank you, Madison Trojans. This concludes our recognitions.
Thank you, Ms. Proctor. Our agenda now calls for the public forum segment of our meeting. We'll begin with speakers to items, followed by speakers to non-agenda items. To ensure that this meeting is held in an orderly manner, I'm asking speakers to please refrain from using individual names and to address the board and not individual trustees. Ms. Gully, will you call the names of the speakers, please?
Yes. Speakers, you will have 3 minutes to speak. When you arrive at the microphone, please state your name and address. Our first speaker is Shane Hurst, followed by Beatrice Gonzalez. Jane Hurst.
He's coming.
Oh.
Yeah, I did see that. He was just enjoying this moment.
Oh, well. Am I going? All right. I'm Michael Shane Hurst, 1038 West 5 Mile Parkway. I am the chair of the SBDM board at Rosemont Schools, and I am a transfer. I am an educator. I have taught at Dallas Baptist University as a professor of music for almost 20 years. I've also served at Cedar Valley College with the Dallas Community College District, and I never thought I would send my kids to public school because I saw some of the things that came from public schools, and I was left fairly skeptical. But then I found Rosemont, and I made sure that I got there and got my kids in and became a part of that community, because the community is indeed what drives Rosemont, and what has led y'all to hold us up in the last bond election is a nice little trinket for people to follow. We are a community that serves its children. We work hard. We get the money to provide the programs and things, but we do not have the wherewithal, and we do not have the authority to address infrastructure. We've done our jobs, but you have not done yours. In 2010, we added 6 through 8 without a dime. And now you have $19 million going to prepare these middle schools for upcoming populations, whereas our middle schoolers who already exist and have existed for 5 years, 9 years, sorry, I can't count. But musicians can only count up to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. For 9 years, these kids have been using poorly, sized tables, chairs, restrooms. They can see over the stalls. It's just unconscionable. Whether it was neglect or grift or anything is all moot at this point. We just ask that you give us the money that we need to provide these kids an education that they can continue to put before the world as an example of what Dallas ISD can be.
Beatrice Gonzalez, followed by Frederick Kennedy.
Good afternoon. I'm coming in on behalf of Rosemont, it's just like fellow parent here. And our main concern is, like he stated, upgrading to accommodate our middle schoolers. I've been in the building. The restrooms are fairly small, and these are middle school students. They're my height, and just the fact of them, squatting down so low, it's uncomfortable. The fountain, the water fountains, my pre-K reaches perfect, but it's not built for him. It was built for him, but now middle schoolers are using them. So we want to accommodate them and give them the best facility for them to continue their education. We have 6 students that were accepted to Booker T. Washington. So we are making an impact in our students, and we just want the facilities appropriate for them. And not only that, but also as a security. We want our children to be safe in a safe building, and that's why we want to upgrade it and accommodate them in the best way possible. And that's it. Thank you.
Frederick Kennedy, followed by Ola Allen. Ola Allen. Dolores Phillips, not speaking. William Hopkins, followed by Leslie McElroy.
Mr. Hopkins is here.
My name is William Hopkins. I live at 2011 Lee Street, West Dallas. I've been speaking coming down here, Mr. Hannah hosts about 20 years speaking at the school board. I watched different families come down and tell stories about the public schools need this, public schools need that. It's like South Oak Cliff. I sat down here almost 20 years and watched the people ask for help for South Oak Cliff. And it was the most regularest, the unkept school I ever seen in my whole life. And y'all just sit here for almost 20 years, and y'all just sit here and did nothing. And when kids went to school and Carter, they said that the computers don't work. Y'all just sit here. The people come down here and tell you the computers don't work. These people here, the fountain is too small. So many problems at the DISD, but y'all just sit here, year in, year out. These people going to wait probably 20 years for they found what's here today. They probably wait 20 more years. Y'all just going to sit here. But what I'm here for is the kids in West Dallas. It's a lead issue in West Dallas. The Dallas Morning News did a study in 2012, December the 17th, December the 18th, and December the 19th with the lead. It's a lead problem in West Dallas. But what I'm here for, I did an Open Records Act. I'm trying to find out how did the white people move from the DISD in West Dallas, from Amelia Earhart. You moved all of the white people. You moved all of the Hispanics to Little Mexico. Was it a lead issue that you moved the white people and the Hispanics, and was somebody supposed to tell the blacks? I'm going to do an Open Records Act to find out, is it a cover-up that you moved the white people from Amelia Earhart in the 70s. You moved the Hispanics, and you left the blacks. I wonder if you should have notified. I'm going to find out if somebody told y'all that something was wrong for you to move all of the white people out of Amelia Earhart. Did the state or the federal government or the Dallas Housing Authority, did somebody tell the DISD that there was something wrong for you to move all of the white kids out of Amelia Earhart? You move all the Hispanics. I'm going to do an Open Records Act to find out what happened in the DISD covering up and killing the children in West Dallas. And I'll be back next month.
Leslie McElroy, followed by Colonel Joe D. Sesser. Colonel Joe D. Sesser, followed by Gail Perry.
Is that the Colonel? Colonel, you're next.
I'm Colonel Joe D. Sasser. I live at 824 Longleaf Drive. I served in the Dallas ISD for more than 48 years. I served in the capacity of SAIs at various high schools and culminated with my being the director of armed instruction for the entire district. I came here for a purpose, indeed a very important purpose. One of my missions while being the DAI was to get a unit established at Townview Center. People had told me that'll never happen. But when I'm challenged like that, it just gave me more drive. We went over and looked at the situation. And the place where that program is now, it was a dungeon. You should see it before as you see it now. Now we have some of the best students there, the best facilities, the best instructors. And I gathered, I heard that there's a move to take this program away. And I came here today to ask you to reconsider that. There was too much money put in it to get it done, and it's making a name for itself. I don't think it would be a wise idea to do that. I don't know who's doing it or whatever. But reconsider that. Leave that unit there. It's one of the best, if not the best unit in this district. Skyline at one time used to be the team to look, the school to look forward to look up to. Now it's Townview. Maybe Skyline had something to do with this. But anyway, I asked the board and whomever is still here and is getting rid of this program at Townview, it was a mistake. The time I had to put in there and all of that. And while I'm standing, I want to mention this also. You have in this district a director of armed instruction who worked with me and for me when I was DAI, Colonel Davis. He needs more support, and more communication to him about things that are going on, particularly when it affects the JROTC. He didn't get this message directly that they were trying to tear down the program at Townview. He got it by back door. That isn't correct. You have one of the best DAIs here, and I made sure that when I left that he would have this job. You need to know that Colonel Davis was selected as the DAI of the year. Over 100 DAIs nationwide. Now, that's not something that's easily done. But I want to say this is my 3 minutes up.
Thank you, Colonel Sesser. Your time has expired.
Reconsider holding on to
Gail Perry,
Townview,
followed by Angelica Hernandez.
Gail Perry, 729 Kipling Drive, Plano, Texas, 75023, Dassel, President. As you may know, Texas has revised the English language arts and reading text, also known as ELAR text. These texts are more closely related to the teachings and services provided by school librarians than in previous years. You have been provided a copy of the new ELAR K-12 vertical alignment with areas that directly relate to librarians and school libraries highlighted. Self-selection and sustained reading are part of the big changes in the text. Please look on page 8. These substrands address fluency, comprehension, and self-sustained reading. Self-selection is the key to turning students onto reading. Librarians are taught how to interview patrons to help them select the books that they will enjoy reading. Each school having a strong collection is going to be a key factor in supporting self-selection in strands 1, 2, and 3. The strength of the collection will also be important for strands 4's study of different genres and types of literature. The entirety of strand 7 is encompassed by the teaching of information literacy by libraries. A large unseen part of the librarian's job is to develop their school's library collection tailored to the needs of their students. You do not want the same books on every school's library shelves. School librarians spend a large amount of time evaluating the collection, reading reviews, listening to authors speak about their books, studying awards lists, etc. Having strong collections developed by school librarians is very important to support the new ELAR text. Several of the Theory of Action schools will not have librarians next year because of the design staffing model of choice. An important question is, how many of the principals and executive directors of TOA schools have been trained on the correlation of the new ELAR text to librarians? If they have come to fully understand these requirements, I doubt that they would want to cut their library positions. Dedicated librarians collaborating with teachers and well-developed collections are going to be important for strong ELAR classes and test scores. The librarians of DISD are asking that no library positions be cut. Instead, we suggest a training session for these principals to learn how the librarians can support the ELAR teachers with these new texts and collaborate to produce stronger ELAR test scores. Please give these principals the information to make well-informed decisions to help their students be successful in both class and on exams. Please give them the chance to reevaluate their decision for the good of both their students as well as their school. We also ask that the secondary library position be reinstated at Skyline. With a student population of approximately 4,500 plus faculty and staff, no one person can meet the needs of that many people. Ms. Horner is an excellent librarian, but she's not superhuman. Please add the second librarian back to Skyline. Thank you.
Angelica Hernandez, followed by Erica Kennard.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Angélica Hernández y estoy aquí porque en las escuelas hay muchos problemas, principalmente en mi experiencia de los maestros no ponen mucha atención en los niños. En otra parte hay niños que hasta están golpeados y lo digo por experiencia propia, porque yo estoy enfadada de decir y que nadie haga nada. Y si quieren pruebas, tengo conmigo unas fotos. La excusa que me dan es que el niño se lo hace solo. Hasta la directora lo dice. Y estoy harta, la verdad estoy harta. El niño no tiene servicios, no califica para ningún tipo de servicios. No tiene nada fuera de su aula. Todas sus clases son adentro de la escuela. Yo pido opciones para que el niño pueda hacer algo. El niño se les ha salido del salón y se les va al tercer piso. Ya no sé qué hacer. Necesito que pongan mucha atención en eso porque ya no sé qué hacer. Necesito que por favor hagan algo. Y más por mi experiencia, por mi hijo. Y no les voy a dar las gracias porque no han hecho nada. Y disculpe, pero estoy muy enojada. Y la verdad, ya no sé ni cómo decirles porque tengo tantas cosas que aquí voy a decir muchas cosas que no quiero decir, pero por favor hagan algo y rápido porque esto se está saliendo de control.
Erica Kennard, followed by Jacqueline Williams.
Good evening, Dr. Hinojosa and the board. I'm Erica Kennard, 609 Prestonwood Trail, DeSoto, Texas, 75115. I am here tonight to speak on behalf of the Dallas Association of school librarians. The reason I'm here, I want to convey to you that school librarians do increase student achievement. I, on record, is at SS Connor Elementary, and our school last year received 4 distinctions due to our library program. I am a South Central Game Changer librarian coach, and I utilize African American read-ins and other read-ins and different things to promote the culture of everyday readers at our school. Reading is fun and rewarding with the reading contest, the writing contest that I implement that kids can win bikes, gift cards, and a variety of prizes. I've recruited several parents, English and Spanish, in my library, and they have spread the word from my passion that I've showed to empower all of our scholars at our school. I have a SS Connor Library Facebook page. I have a SS Connor Library Action Twitter account. I have a SS Connor Comfy Corner YouTube page to engage our digital learners. So libraries are important. Without a librarian, our young scholars will suffer the limited exposure to academic vocabulary and will never gain the true joy of reading, which in turn will hinder our mission here in Dallas ISD of developing college and career-ready scholars in DISD. Every child needs a librarian to have success. Estoy aquí esta noche para hablar sobre la mitad de la Asociación de Bibliotecarios Escolares de Dallas. La razón por lo que estoy aquí para transmitir que los bibliotecarios escolares aumenten el rendimiento estudiantil. Soy Erika Kennard, bibliotecaria, especialista de medios de la escuela de primaria SS Connor. El año pasado, nuestra escuela recibe 4 distinciones de nuestro programa de biblioteca. Soy una entrenadora bibliotecaria en el South Central Game Changer que utiliza la función de lectura afroamericanas y otras para promover la cultura de lectores en mi escuela. Leer es divertido y gratificante con el concurso La Lectura, Escritura y en escuelas de niños tú ganar bicicletas, tarjetas, regalos y una variedad de premios. Relucte padres es ser voluntarios en mi biblioteca. En ellos corren el voz sobre mi pasión por compartir de nuestros estudiantes a través de lectura. Tengo esta es una página de Facebook de Connor Biblioteca. La cuenta de SS Connor, la Biblioteca de Acción, la página de SS Connor, Comfy Corner, en YouTube para atraer nuestros...
Thank you, Ms. Kennard.
Thank you. And I provided a research study
Jacqueline
showing for you some more
Jacqueline
data.
Williams,
how
followed
libraries
by
matter.
Carmen Cabajal.
Good evening. My name is Jacqueline Williams, 4519 Ralph Lane, Dallas, Texas, 75227. In response to Geneva Heights Elementary not continuing to serve as such, myself as a representative and the entire staff of Interfaith Family Services oppose the proposal. Okay. Geneva Heights Elementary offers several benefits to surrounding area families, inclusive of its location and accessibility, its collaborative community program, and its history. Geneva Heights is a great benefit to families in the area because of its location. The elementary school is easily accessible via walking for families, as the lack of a personal vehicle is the disposition for many in the Geneva Heights area. The walking distance at current for attending students is about 2 to 5 minutes. However, if the proposal were approved, these students would be forced to walk for periods of more than 10 minutes, dramatically decreasing the level of safety for elementary school-age children. Secondly, it's beneficial that Geneva Heights Elementary School remain an elementary school, as more than 75% of the Geneva Heights school population is involved in collaborative community programs. For example, at Interfaith, we offer a variety of programs for both the students and their parents, from after-school care to being a safe haven for students whose parents work extended hours, to financial, spiritual, and physical wellness programs for adults. the school's population will lose access to such program if the proposal were approved. This is because man collaboration in the community are built based on the surrounding area elementary school age child. Finally, the school is a part of the history of this area. Before becoming Geneva Heights, it was known by many as Robert E. Lee Elementary. As the area became more diverse, stakeholders moved forward in employing ideals of progress and innovation and approved the building's name change. Students beginning their initial educational engagement at Geneva Heights Elementary School have learned to overcome various economic and learning challenges to still become successful contributors to the community. Again, we at Interfaith Family Services support Geneva Heights Elementary School as a service provider that provides itself on eliminating...
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Carmen Cabajal, followed by Kim Green.
Carmen Carbajal, a grateful believer in the Lord Jesus Christ, 4748 St. Francis Avenue. I'm here on behalf of Geneva Heights Elementary. Geneva Heights has been Geneva Heights for just a few months to a lot of people. To me, it's been Robert E. Lee for a long time. I went there. I'm a DISD product. I'm a Robert E. Lee product. I went there from third. I went to Robert E. Lee. I attended Robert E. Lee as a student from third to sixth grade. When it housed kinder through sixth grade, I returned as a parent in 2002. Was involved as a PTA parent shortly thereafter in 2003. And I've been there ever since. And now, at this age, I am a grandparent with future DISD students. And my children also attended what was once Robert E. Lee and is now Geneva Heights. What I have seen, I know that there is a proposed to change the structure of the school. Change is not something that happens comfortably. Sometimes it happens for the best, and most of the times we can't see that that is why it's happening. But Geneva Heights, as an elementary school, serving children that are K through fifth grade at this point, is so important to this community. I don't think people understand or really know what that institution is. If you walk in and you're there, it's family, it's the teachers, the administrators, other families. It's been resilient through all sorts of changes. When I was there as a student, we housed over 600 students. I know there was a massive amount. Back in 2002, the same thing. There was 700 students. It dropped down to about 300 about 5 years ago, and then we're back up. Half of the students are transferred in. I just can't stress enough how important it is for you to see Geneva Heights, not just as a building, but as a home for many people, for many families that it has served for many years. And it's not so much what it gives to us, but what the families have put into that school. Thank you for your time.
Kim Green, followed by Carlos Magana.
Hi, my name is Kim Green. I live at 2222 Elmwood Boulevard in Dallas, and I'm here to discuss the desperate needs of our school. We need you to stop redistributing and reallocating funds away from Rosemont. You touted our school to the voters to secure the approval of the 2015 bond and then began reallocating those funds to pay for projects and build choice schools that were never a part of that bond. We need an HVAC system that doesn't malfunction and cause a heat wave inside of our building that's led to our students having headaches, vomiting, and nosebleeds. Our kids are going home bright red because of the excessive heat. And since you've withheld those 2015 bond monies meant to renovate the building, we have windows that don't meet code. You can't open the windows because of the horrible renovation job that was done in the 70s that sealed and covered those windows. You would never work in those conditions, but you expect our kids to do it. We need appropriate funding to outfit our school for middle school age kids that in 2010 were added to our school with, as was mentioned before, no additional funding. We never received the funds for those students. Therefore, there were no appropriate facilities added. Those budding teenagers are using restroom facilities that are scaled for third graders. There is no privacy in a restroom where the majority of the middle school population can easily see over the stalls. They eat their lunch at tables that are meant for 8- and 9-year-olds. The majority of them are taller than I am, which is no hard feat. But even I have a difficulty getting my knees under those tables. We need the funding that was promised to us from the 2015 bond so that we can make the appropriate changes with the addition of science labs, performance space, and the regulated square footage accommodation per student, along with the safety that comes from connected buildings. We need you to do what you should have done a long time ago. We need you to stop overlooking our campus and provide us with the funding that we need to make our school safe and secure. Thank you.
Carlos Magana, followed by Nancy Rodriguez.
Hi, my name is Carlos Magana. My address is 10110 Lingo Lane, Dallas, Texas, 75228. I'm here on behalf of Rosemont, not only bringing up all the issues that she just brought, but also I'm here on behalf of my wife, who is a teacher and has been teaching for 16 years in Dallas. She's currently a dyslexia instructor. At the campus that we're speaking of, there is rooms that have no windows. And a child has to be there all day in a room with no windows. My wife had to teach half the year in a closet that was meant to store books. That's where they're teaching kids with dyslexia. Obviously, there's a lot of safety hazards, and there's efficiency issues with all the equipment being meant for pre-K through 6th grade students, and that's another of the issues. And the kids do not have an auditorium. They do not have a library that's the appropriate size for the population of students. They don't have computer space. And along with the problem with the HVAC, there's a problem with the windows. This is a building that was built in the 1920s. Back then it was beautiful. It's not anymore. And you clearly cannot open the windows with the AC, so that's an issue. Dr. Elizalde deemed that the building was fragmented and created safety and efficiency concerns. And that is part of the reason why they had allocated money from the bond to the school so that it could be repaired, it could be upgraded, so that children could be in a proper environment where they can flourish and not in a classroom that has continuous problems with air conditioning and a lot of other problems with aesthetics, and it's just not meant for that population of children. Mi nombre es Carlos Magaña. Estoy aquí porque es de parte de Rosemont y por mi esposa que es maestra. Y estamos aquí porque los niños están en unos salones que no tienen ventanas y están teniendo que sufrir problemas por aire acondicionado porque están en un edificio que es muy viejo y no tienen acceso a privacidad en los baños. Los baños están así de altos. La mayoría de los niños están más altos que eso y pueden ver adentro. y no es justo que mi hijo y otros niños tengan que ir en una escuela que no esté al día, que no esté renovada y que no tenga las facilidades adecuadas para esos niños. Gracias.
Nancy Rodriguez.
Nancy Rodriguez, 6725 Bobolink Drive, Dallas, Texas. I am a social worker and former district employee. I currently work with children with special needs, and I see over and over again how the district fails its special education students by ignoring the IDEA laws and Section 504, thereby failing to provide a free, appropriate public education. Parents of children are being denied their rights under the law and are forced to overcome multiple obstacles to get access to services. Earlier this month, you heard from Dr. Collier about the increasing numbers of students being tested for SPED. Do you know what else is increasing? The number of students that are graduating because they are not being given the option to stay in school until age 21, to which they are entitled by the law. The total number of total communication units that are closing, and the number of parents that are being told they can't bring an advocate to their child's ARD, social workers like myself. Parents are being told, you can have an ARD if you come alone. Don't bring a Medicaid social worker, South Oak Cliff High School. And social workers and other professionals that attend ARDs at parents' requests are being told things like, you can't speak in Spanish. Or in my case, I was told I couldn't address the parent during the ARD and I couldn't address school staff directly. Lang Middle School. The lack of respect that is shown to these parents is unacceptable. Parents are active participants in their child's ARD, and the law states they can bring whomever they want. Parents are still being told that RTI must take place before the child can be evaluated. Florence Middle School. Nonverbal children are routinely denied speech services. Casa View, Reinhardt, Gill. All of this is contrary to the law and grows out of a culture at Dallas ISD that is focused on silencing parents rather than serving kids. You have it in your power to do something about this. A simple commitment from this board affording parents the unequivocal right to record all interactions with DISD personnel will give parents the tools to push against this malfeasance. And a clear, unmistakable statement from this board that noncompliance with federal SPED law will not be tolerated and will be grounds for dismissal is urgently needed. I'm going to give you your board policy. We at Dallas ISD comply with IDEA and Section 504 laws, period.
Yvette Hunt is not speaking. Leticia Gomez, followed by Martha Acosta.
Buenas tardes, soy Leti Gómez, 3527 de la Field Lane, Dallas, Texas, 75227. Soy fundadora y directora de Padres Grupo de Apoyo para Padres de Hijos con Discapacidades, al cual asisten padres de todo el Metroplex. Escuché los resultados de la auditoría que se hizo este año para Educación Especial y es evidente que los resultados son poco reales y procuran que ustedes escuchen la mejor versión de lo que Dallas ISD hace. ¿De dónde salió el dinero para esta auditoría? Pues hace 2 años la misma persona hizo la misma auditoría. Con todo respeto, ¿escogen a la misma persona por amistad o por relación con los ejecutivos o porque ella es ex empleada del Dallas ISD? De verdad, sugiero que se hagan reuniones públicas para que escuchen a los padres de estudiantes decir sus quejas y, ¿por qué no?, sus halagos de viva voz. Pues los llamados spotlight que hace la directora de Educación Especial son muy controlados, a horarios inconvenientes para muchos y de muy poca asistencia. El centro de padres cerró, ahora lo llaman centro de padres ambulante, una perfecta estrategia para que los padres no ubiquen la ayuda que necesitan, ya que a la hora de presentar una queja, ustedes han dicho que todo debe de ir por el centro de padres. Este lugar se ha convertido solamente en un lugar donde se acumulan quejas y no siguen el protocolo que marca la Ley de Educación Especial. Educación Especial está violando la ley, verdaderamente en muchas áreas. Ustedes no hacen lo que dice FAPE, es decir, una educación apropiada, Ustedes violan las juntas de transición con herramientas muy pobres para los estudiantes. No permitan que se graben las juntas. Los recursos para los estudiantes son muy limitados. Hay más personal en el Departamento de Educación Especial que personas sirviendo, dando terapias. No tenemos traductores capacitados en el tema de los ARDs, pues verdaderamente si llegáramos a ser 12,000 estudiantes, equivaldría a 12,000 juntas anuales de la ARD y solamente hay 8 traductores para todo el Dallas ISD. El staff de las escuelas sigue molestando a los padres para que recojan a sus niños en horas que ustedes que están a su cargo. Los llaman porque dicen que necesitan cambio de pañal o porque tienen algún problema de comportamiento. Les pido, por favor, que hagan cambios efectivos. No sé si se han dado cuenta, pero Educación Especial tiene directivos por muchos años y con esa misma gente no podemos tener cambios, pues los resultados van a ser los mismos. Les invito a que, por favor, se preocupen por el futuro. Ustedes son servidores públicos. Por favor, piensen en nuestros estudiantes. Ustedes tienen la responsabilidad de entrenarlos para el futuro. Ustedes no están por encima de la ley. Ustedes deben implementar la ley para un mejor futuro.
Martha Acosta, followed by Martina Curry. Martha Acosta. Martina Curry.
Buenas tardes. Yo vengo a representar a mi nieto que tiene autismo y a todos los niños aquí presentes. Yo vengo porque mi niño ha sido abusado físicamente y psicológicamente y vengo a que lo ayuden a agarrar más ayuda porque no me dan muchas cosas. Me dicen que el problema es él. Y es un niño que es bien inteligente, que no tienen paciencia para nada los maestros. Y, yo como la señora ya estoy cansada, estresada de que me estén hablando todos los días que el niño hizo esto, que no me sacan de mi trabajo, que no le tienen nada de paciencia, no sé ya ni qué hacer. Yo pido que le pongan atención a estos niños que son inocentes, que no pueden defenderse y están ustedes pagando a maestros que no están capacitados para ayudarlos, para darles buena ayuda. Es lo único que yo les pido, que pongan más atención con estos niños porque son indefensos y nosotros ya estamos cansadas de que no hagan nada y no nos pongan en cuenta de lo que ellos sienten y pues uno que puede hacer como padre. Es todo, gracias.
Aiden Lopez, followed by Lydia Torres.
Buenas noches, mi nombre es Lidia Torres. Mi dirección es 8810 La Panton Lane, Dallas, Texas, 75227. Soy mamá de un niño con deshabilitación especial y en este año he notado tantas injusticias con él porque no se siente a gusto en su plantel. De hecho, he propuesto que salga de la educación especial para que conviva en una clase regular, cual el director de esa escuela, de él, no me da una explicación para decir por qué no lo saca de la educación especial que está para poder agarrar sus clases regulares por el bien psicológico de él, porque en este año lo he visto demasiado deprimido y yo sé que él está dispuesto y poner de su parte para estar en una educación regular y mixtear sus clases con la educación que necesita en algunas materias. Surtí una reunión con él y solamente me dice que no, y no me da una explicación. De hecho, hasta es molesto. Yo lo veo que él está molesto con todas mis sugerencias para él. Y no creo que sea justo que por solamente el hecho de decir que él esté sufriendo este año. Siento como hasta un abuso psicológico de él el estar en un salón que realmente no es apto para él, porque no tiene una deshabilitación intelectual, no es tan grave, tan motora, por su frustramiento de él en ese salón. Y realmente yo veo que deberían de poner más atención en esa escuela, porque tanto que sufrimos nosotros como padres especiales con ellos, para todavía estar día con día, estar tratando de pelear con ellos y uno recibir un no, y creo que no es justo con todo el dinero que tenemos para nuestros niños, para no darles una educación para ellos, y que haya más clases como para los niños de deshabilitación intelectual, porque no hay algo para ellos. No hay algo que su calidad de cómo vivan sea más digna, y tener más ayudas en ellos, porque es muy triste que te hable la maestra de tu hijo y te diga: señora, yo sé que no es la clase adecuada para su hijo, pero yo no puedo ponerme en contra del principal para ayudarla. Y yo sé decirle como amiga: yo no necesito una amiga, yo necesito una maestra para mi hijo que lo apoye, sabiendo las necesidades que él tiene. Y que me llame, yo lo veo como una burla, y le dije yo: usted debería de defender sus ideales y ponerse no al tú por tú con el director del plantel, porque en la reunión que tuvimos usted no dijo nada, usted estuvo de acuerdo en todo, y me llama y me dice eso. Yo lo veo que es muy mal, y yo me siento mal como madre.
Thank you, Ms. Torres. Barry Jacobs, followed by Eva Ramirez. Barry Jacobs, Eva Ramirez, Erica Cuenta.
Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Erika Cuenca y vivo en el 10623 Fern Drive, Dallas, Texas, 75228. Soy madre de un niño con autismo que asiste en el programa de TC de una escuela de Reinhardt. Quiero empezar mencionando que mi hijo fue uno de los alumnos que movieron de la escuela el año pasado en septiembre. Ese cambio tan repentino desestabilizó a mi hijo en lo emocional y en su comportamiento también. Un cambio así para él es muy difícil, y para todos los demás niños especiales. En esta escuela que está él ahora le han quitado los servicios que él ya tenía, como la terapia ocupacional, de lenguaje y también la tecnología asistida. No estoy de acuerdo con que le hayan quitado los servicios, puesto que mi hijo aún los necesita demasiado. Debido a esto, yo tuve que conseguirme una defensora que me ayude con las evaluaciones independientes que estoy pidiendo. También quiero mencionar que los AR no están siendo adecuados en esta escuela, puesto que no se está tomando nota de los cambios y de lo que se está mencionando en la Junta en ese momento. Tampoco estamos teniendo traductores, aunque los pida uno con un tiempo determinado. No, he tenido 2 juntas AR en esa escuela y no he tenido en ninguna de las 2 el traductor que necesito. Otro problema es que mi hijo tiene 1 mes y medio que se quedó sin maestra. No sé la razón, la escuela no me da razón de eso, no me da una razón clara, ni a mí ni a las mamás de los otros compañeros. Me preocupa mucho que mi hijo retroceda en su aprendizaje y sus habilidades, ahora que no lo está teniendo sus terapias, y si no vuelve a tener estos servicios. Me he sentido poco escuchada y preocupada también porque no se está teniendo lo que considero que es adecuado para mi hijo. Quisiera que se tome más en cuenta lo que como padres solicitamos para las necesidades de nuestros hijos. Quiero que mi hijo tenga lo que considero que es necesario para su aprendizaje y para su desarrollo sin tanto inconveniente y en un corto plazo. Espero que las palabras mías y de las otras personas que están hablando aquí sean escuchadas y sean atendidas sus preocupaciones. Es todo. Gracias.
Judy Flores, followed by Doris Suarez. Judy Flores, Doris Suarez, Maria Tobias.
Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Doris Suárez, vivo en 2605 John West Road. Soy mamá de un niño de 11 años diagnosticado con autismo no verbal. Algunos de los problemas que tuve en educación especial fueron que mi hijo tiene un dispositivo de tecnología de asistencia para su comunicación, por lo que en 2015 pedí que utilizaran ese dispositivo en la escuela, a lo que me respondieron que no. Y la razón que me dieron fue que ellos no querían hacerse responsables del aparato. Después, en 2016, le quitaron su terapia de habla. Y la razón que me dieron para suspender los servicios fue que él no hablaba. Aún ellos estando al tanto que mi hijo tenía un dispositivo de comunicación con el cual, si ellos hubieran querido, podrían haberlo utilizado como herramienta en su terapia. Educación especial no tomó en cuenta ni las necesidades de mi hijo, ni mis peticiones, ni mis preocupaciones, por lo cual tuve que conseguir apoyo de una defensora para poder ser escuchada y que me ayudara a solicitar evaluaciones independientes para poder obtener nuevamente los servicios y el apoyo que mi hijo necesitaba. Mi prioridad número 1 es que mi hijo reciba toda la ayuda y el apoyo que él necesita, para que en el futuro él pueda llegar a ser lo más independiente posible. Pero para poder lograr esa meta, educación especial debe de dejar de poner tantos obstáculos para brindar los servicios que los niños necesitan y a los cuales por ley tienen derecho.
Maria Tobias, followed by Tamala Torres. Our last speaker is Deepak Garbani. Pamela Torres, okay.
Buenas tardes a todos. Mi nombre es Pamela Torres, mi dirección es 6546 Kingwood, aquí en Dallas, Texas. El sitio es 75214. Voy a ser muy breve para acabar pronto. El distrito no deja que los defensores hablen español en el idioma que requieren esa persona. Se tardan para repasar una evaluación independiente. No dan apoyo en la casa para los niños con autismo. No proveen evaluaciones de habla y lenguaje en el idioma que hablan en la casa. No les dan evaluaciones a tiempo para que los padres se puedan preparar para el AUR. Muchas de las personas que usan para traducir no saben el vocabulario y los protocolos de educación especial. No están entrenados bien. Cuando esto pasa, es una falta de comunicación y los padres no entienden. También pasa que tienen las juntas sin los padres cuando los padres no pueden ir ese día y piden que les cambien la fecha. Con todo respeto, espero que este día, si usted está ahí enfrente y tiene un cargo, espero que todas las necesidades que el día de hoy y las peticiones que todos los padres estamos pidiendo es porque tenemos una necesidad. Muchos de nuestros niños no nacieron con una discapacidad. Muchos de nuestros niños fueron detectados a los 9, 10, 11 años y espero que nuestras necesidades de nosotros en el futuro no sean alguna de las necesidades de ustedes. También se los digo por experiencia propia. Mi hija fue detectada apenas, tiene medio año y tiene 11 años. Entonces no me gustaría que ustedes también pasen las necesidades que nosotros tenemos, porque yo miro unos que se sonríen, otros que como que no ponen interés. Entonces mi necesidad puede ser tu necesidad un día. Mi discapacidad puede ser tu discapacidad un día. Hay deportistas que se quedan sin una pierna, sin un brazo, y esa ya es una discapacidad. Entonces espero que en tu necesidad, mi necesidad no sea la tuya en un día, y mi discapacidad no sea la tuya también un día. Que Dios te bendiga y espero que este día te lleves tantito de las necesidades que nosotros necesitamos y que no han sido atendidas. Gracias. Que Dios los bendiga a todos.
Our last speaker is Deepak Garbani.
Deepak Gurbani, 5225 Fleetwood Oaks Avenue, apartment 202, Dallas, Texas, 75235. I would like to take this opportunity to kind of share my experiences and get some help regarding my 2-year-old son who has a special need. And I was trying to help one of my colleagues, and which turned out to be a different experience. And now I have to face the same. So I was trying to reach to you guys to really help in this matter. As an international, we kind of have a limitation not to know everything. So we kind of, look around for help. And I searched around PPCD schools. ECI was actually helping us to transition into PPCD, but the question was the same help they offered to one of my colleagues who was from China, and he couldn't speak English. So he had a very hard time, and I was trying to help him go through this. Eventually, we were forced to believe that your area has a PPCD school, you will be assigned, and I helped him with all the paperwork, everything, went to the school, and then all the experiences started, which were not good. Not to go through all those experiences, but he was kind of forced to move out because he couldn't get help from the school, from the teachers. He tried to get in touch with them, communicate with them. There was very lack of communication from all areas. So he kind of moved to a different area now. But the nature of the work that we do, I work at UT Southwestern as a research instructor, and I can't really, move around in places. I have to work in that manner. So the concern here is if I try to look around PPCD schools, I don't get a list of what schools have PPCDs. So I go on a website, there's a link there. I try to email, no response. I call them, no response. So limitations exist in that system. I asked him, hey, now you have moved to a different area. How do you feel between that? He said, well, experiences are really, really good. My child doesn't have to face all what he faced there. I said, well, can you just give me an example? He said, well, if he gets a therapy out there, they send the link and I can see the video and I can kind of work on that when I'm at home. I'm like, well, that's great. So I see a lot of change in his kids when he moved. So my hopes are bright because my daughter goes to a school at DISD, which is doing great, and I'm very happy with it. I met one of the person here. He's not here, but his name is here. And we had a school down there which was really, really underperforming. So it was converted to a choice school last year, and all the UT Southwestern fraternity who are sending their kids down there, they're very happy. So thank you for that. So my hope is that I would still, if I'm looking for a PPCD school in my neighborhood, I would probably not want to send my kid to and have the same experiences that my former colleague had. So there has to be a better way where we can actually look around if our needs are met, and people should be able to help and respond to our emails or phone calls. Thank you.
This concludes our speakers.
Thank you, Ms. Gully. The next item is 4, Stop, Look, and Listen. You have 3 minutes, sir.
Thank you. Good evening to all of you in the audience. It's very important what I have to say here tonight. We're going to stop, look, and listen. I don't know how much listening that the administrators at Dallas ISD is going to do, but we're going to attempt to get them to listen to us tonight. My name is Zachariah C. Manning. I was a former project manager at Dallas ISD. Over the construction issues at many of the schools that y'all are here complaining and worried about not having the money and the funding to get the projects done. Over my course of time with Dallas ISD, I had anywhere upwards to 28 projects. One of the reasons why you're not getting your projects done is because things that are going on at schools like Hillcrest. I put a roof on Hillcrest, on a section of Hillcrest 2 years ago. Cost $500,000 about. So that's your money and my money. Now, that same roof section is being torn off. That's within 2 years. I encourage each and every one of you, including the board trustees here, to look into that. But I mentioned that the last meeting. I don't know what ever came of it. But first of all, that's where your money is going. I'm here to protect your money, and I would do that going forward in the future. I would encourage each and every one of you to write my cell phone number down if you need to contact me about anything. As I was a PTA president at Preston Hollow Elementary for 2 years and sat on the executive board for additional 3 years. I'm an honorary lifetime PTA member. So I'm not looking out for kids in East Dallas, South Dallas, West Dallas. I'm looking out for kids in all of Dallas. And my grievance here tonight is because I was terminated for doing my job as a project manager. And I did it very well. You can talk to any stakeholder, any principal. You can ask them, how did Zachariah Manning perform? He performed exceptionally well. So I was terminated because I uncovered taxpayer misuse of your money. Go to Channel 8 WFAA and look at the 2 segments, Zach Manning and Dallas ISD. Again, my telephone number is 214-597-8887. Call me.
Thank you.
Thank you. The board will now retire to closed session. The public is welcome to wait in the room while the board is in closed session. The board will retire to closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551 concerning any and all purposes permitted by the Act, including but not limited to the following sections. Texas Government Code Sections 551.071 for private consultation with its attorney about pending or contemplated litigation, or in a manner in which the duty of the attorney, the governmental body, and the Texas disciplinary rules of professional conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with this chapter, including GF Local Legal complaint to Zachariah Manning and his related lawsuits. The time is now 7:10, and we are in closed session. The time is now 7:37, and we are back in open session. The board took no action in closed session. Next item on the agenda is item 6, Superintendent Reports, Academic Achievement, Accolades, Events, and Legislative Update. Dr. Hinojosa.
Yes, Mr. President, members of the board, very brief report. We are very, very proud of some of our students. 8 seniors got full rides to Texas Christian University, valued at $260,000 each. The students came from Barack Obama Male Leadership Academy, David W. Carter, and Lincoln High Schools, and they'll be set for their full fare at TCU, so we're very proud of the students for making that happen. Next, I'll go quickly up to the legislative update. A lot of things are happening right now. 2 days ago, the only bill that has to pass is the budget, and it was passed out of the House unanimously. And what is in the budget is $9 billion for education. Out of that, $3 billion is for property tax reduction, and the other $6 is $6 billion. What's not in there is how they're going to distribute that money, and that will happen next in House Bill 3, which is also going to the floor next week, and I will be down there on Wednesday as that debate occurs, with multiple amendments due tomorrow and multiple amendments due on Monday. We'll see kind of where things are in the House. Also, something that happened today in the Senate, they modified their budget. Initially, they only had $6 billion for education. Now they have $9 billion for education. But how they're distributing the money is much different than how the House is. So once again, the good news is that they went to $9 billion. The bad news is that they have no public strategy yet for how that money will be distributed. So both of those bills will move forward here in the next few days. I'm being told that House Bill 3, once it passes the floor, will go immediately to the Senate so they can hear that bill. So eventually what will happen is those bills will end up with different versions in each house. And then, of course, that'll be up to the conference committee to make final resolution. So we can't plan a lot until the session is over. However, now that we know that at least $6 billion is going to be spent in public education, it's just which version of that does it occur. The House side has a lot more flexibility. The Senate is very prescriptive. So we'll just see how that rolls out. We'll keep you informed as we go along. There are several other bills that are moving through the process, and we'll just keep you informed of how that happens. So that concludes my report. I'll be glad to answer any questions that you may have regarding any of my items on my report.
Trustees, any question from the superintendent? If not, we will move on to Board of Trustee Committee reports. Do we have any Board of Trustee Committee reports? No? Okay, so then we'll move on to the Trustee District reports on matters of community interest, including topics such as expression of thanks, congratulations, condolences, information regarding holiday schedules, honorary and salutary recognition of a public official, public employee, or other citizen, except that a discussion regarding a change in status of a person's public office or public employment is not an honorary or salutary recognition for purposes of the subdivision or a reminder about an upcoming event or sponsored by a governing body. So we will start on your left, my right, with Trustee Audrey Pinkerton.
All right, thank you, Trustee Flores. I am proud to report that 2 District 7 schools are competing on the global level. So Rosemont Elementary just placed first and advanced to the global finals of the Destination Imagination Tournament. They'll be traveling to Missouri in May, along with 6 other Dallas ISD teams. Congratulations, Rosemont. And Winnetka Elementary is one of 5 district teams advancing to the VEX IQ World Championship Robotics Competition in Kentucky in April. As we look to the role that STEM plays in our society, it is encouraging to know that we are growing our next generation of scientists, engineers, mathematics, and technology professionals. Congratulations, Winnetka. And finally, I want to say a special thanks to Adamson High School, which hosted the wildly successful Read for Me event. There were more than 1,100 students and parents who attended this literacy event. And we took advantage of book giveaways, and they enjoyed performances and participated in interactive reading events. Thank you, Adamson.
Okay. Trustee Blackburn.
Kudos to Olivia Nutcutt and also Nutcutt Wiley, of the School of Science and Engineering, and Asaya Taylor of the Judge Barefoot Sanders Law Magnet, and Zoe Osborne and Christian Mendoza of the School of the Talented and Gifted on competing in the Mayor's Cup debate earlier this month, hosted by Mayor Mike Rollins and the Dallas Urban Debate Alliance. The judges selected Osborne and Mendoza as the debate winners, while Nutcutt, Wiley, and Taylor were selected as the audience choice. Stephanie, I want you to know that District 5 shout-outs to Wilma Hutchins media specialist Valerie Tega for being accepted to the Gilmer Lehman Institute of American History Teacher Seminar. She'll be attending this seminar on the California Gold Rush at the University of California, Davis this summer. And Scott, I want you to know that we want to congratulate all the District 5 athletic scholars who are from Pinkston, Roosevelt, South Cliff, and Wilma Hutchins, who have received academic scholarships and athletic scholarships, and they have signed their commitments to play at the various collegiate levels. Thank you, everyone, for paying attention.
Trustee Foreman.
I wasn't paying attention to him. Good evening. Scholarship season is geared up, and I'm proud to see several students from District 6 be awarded for outstanding performances in the classrooms and beyond. Congratulations to Evan Smith, a 5th grade student at Jimmy Tyler Bashir, who placed 3rd in the district's inaugural Poetry Slam competition earlier this month. He was awarded a $2,000 scholarship to be collected upon graduation and won the opportunity to perform at the Read for Me event last week. And I actually was there at Trustee Pinkerton at Adamson for the Read for Me, and he was really great. I was really glad to see him. Lastly, also I'd like to just once again say to Destiny Miles how proud we are of her for winning the Girls State Championship Wrestling, and I do want her to take Dr. Blackburn down. Lastly, I'd like to...
I know how to get out of the way.
Lastly, I'd like to commend the District 6 students who placed in the Dallas Bar Association's Law Day contest. The students competed in 4 categories: art posters, essays, photography, and editorial. The The following students emerged as winners among 135 entries. The poster art, all of them are from Atwell Law Academy. First place, Madison Franklin, 8th grade. Second place, Asia Langley, 8th grade. Third place, Ricardo Yepes, 7th grade. In photography, in second place, Omar Moran, 12th grade, David W. Carter High School. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Trustee Foreman. Trustee Mitchke.
Thank you. I'd like to give the District 3 report and say congratulations to Cooking Up Change victors, the Golden Threat from Conrad High School, which won this 4th annual district competition. Also, congratulations and best of luck to teams from Sanger, Casa View, and Robert T. Hill Middle School. These teams also advanced to the Robotics World Championship taking place next month in Kentucky. Kudos to Hector Elementary for the Rockstar send-off they gave their Special Olympics team as they left for their meet at Wilmer Hutchins earlier this month. And kudos to Casa View Elementary for being featured on the district Facebook series, Best Schools in Dallas, last week. Thank you, Mr. President.
And thank you, Trustee Mitchke. Trustee Henry.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm going to present the District 9 accolades, starting with Skyline freshman Noe Sanchez. Designs for boots for Big Tex was selected as one of the top 10 designs for Tex for next year's State Fair. Sanchez's bright, colorful design features the Dallas skyline and other symbols of Texas pride. I also want to say congratulations to District 9 students who took top honors at the 2019 Dallas ISD STEM Expo. Team projects from Irma Hell Young Women's Leadership School, Burley O'Dade, and Skyline took first place in their divisions. I also want to say kudos to students from 3 District 9 schools who raised and donated funds to support charities across our community in this year's Common Sense Pennies from the Heart program. The top fundraiser was Skyline High School, whose homecoming court donated more than $5,800 to 13 area charities. 2 other District 9 schools whose donated funds to community nonprofit organizations were J.P. Starks and Frank Giesig Elementary. Also, I guess it's again another Skyline thing, I want to give a congratulations to Cesar Sanchez Mendoza, who's a Skyline High School senior who today was surprised by SMU admissions with notification that he's a Mustang Scholar, which translates into a full ride to SMU, which is also good because it was his dream school. So excited for this young man and the people that have sold into him. I again want to congratulate the folks that were awarded. TCU, a few students from Lincoln High School, and then last we already acknowledged the great James Madison Trojans earlier today for their state championship. I didn't get to mention this before, but they started off really rough early, turned their season around, and won the state championship. So it's a phenomenal story, great leadership under a great man and a great group of young men. So again, I want to congratulate them for their achievement. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Henry. Trustee Marshall.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll give the District 2 report. Congrats to Mrs. Miller from Ben Milam Elementary, who received the Rainbow Days Outstanding Educator Promise Award for her work. Also, congrats to the North Dallas High School's dance team that competed in the Dance Line DFW regional competition. The Vikingettes drill team and the JV dance team each won best in category. Also, shout out to the Woodrow Wilson girls golf team, which won the Dallas ISD tournament, and the Woodrow boys golf team, which took both first and second place. Shout out to JL Long boys and girls track team that became the North Zone District champs. Way to go. Also on March 22nd, Lakewood Elementary second grader Henley Cooper won the Overall Excellence Award for music composition in the PTA Reflections Contest. Her work will be sent to compete at the national level, and she'll be performing her song at the state awards in Austin. So way to go, Henley. On March 24th, District 11-5A issued boys basketball all-district honors, and Defensive Player of the Year went to Eduardo Andre, and Newcomer of the Year went to Richard Amalfe of both of Woodrow. Also want to congratulate Woodrow on their reading initiative, which just took place on March 26th. Students from the swim team volunteered at Lipscomb by reading to first and second graders, and students from the tennis team volunteered at Geneva Heights by reading to the young students. It's really awesome to see that feeder pattern cooperation led by Woodrow's new athletic director. Also want to congratulate the North Dallas girls golf team for becoming the 12-4A district champs, and shout out to the JL Long girls track team who became the 2019 city champions for the third year in a row. And lastly, I personally want to thank United to Learn, which is a nonprofit organization that just had their community campus day on March 23rd. They brought in over 400 volunteers and over $135,000 in supplies and instructional resources to 23 elementary schools that were in my trustee district and in Dr. Flores' trustee district. It was truly a great event. I personally enjoyed painting the Spider-Man bathroom at Pershing Elementary and judging the Shark Tank, where students pitched possible solutions to educational issues, including early learning and literacy. And Dr. Little, you will be happy to know that I chose a winner who is planning to help you with pre-K outreach in the Foster neighborhood and has pledged to get you lots of new 3- and 4-year-olds for pre-K. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Marshall. I, too, want to cheer on our Destination and Imagination teams that will be competing at the global competition in May. District 1 has teams from Harry Withers Elementary School and Chapel Hill Preparatory that will be among those competing. This is an exciting event for our students, and I want to thank the teams, their instructors for the amazing work getting to this point. Congratulations and best of luck. I also want to thank the organization Step Up for making prom extra special for 5 young students at Thomas Jefferson High School. Thanks to Step Up and their sponsor, JCPenney, the students received a free dress for prom as well as a hair and makeup makeover, which they will be able to recreate the day of their senior celebration with the help of a gift card. And finally, I want to remind everybody that the 9th Annual W.T. White Street Fair is this Saturday, March 30th from 11 to 3 p.m. There'll be foods, games, crafts, vendors, live entertainment, raffle, silent auction, and the proceeds benefit the W.T. White PTA. I look forward to seeing everybody there on Saturday. And so that concludes our district reports. So moving on to the next item on the agenda is to consider and take possible action to approve the minutes submitted for approval. Trustees, the following minutes have been submitted for approval. Called board meeting February 28, 2019. Board meeting February 28, 2019. Called board meeting March 7, 2019. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
So we have a motion by Trustee Mitchke, a second by Trustee Marshall. If there are no corrections, trustees, please cast your votes.
The motion passes 7-0.
Thank you, trustees. We will now move on to consider and take possible action to approve consent items 8.01 through 8.37 as amended. We have consent agenda items 8.01 through 8.37 as amended. The following items have been pulled for a separate vote: 8.02, 8.04, 8.08, 8.10, 8.11, 8.14, 8.19, 8.23, 8.27, 8.28, 8.30, 8.34, 8.36, and 8.38. Items 8.05, 8.07, and 8.12 have been pulled from the agenda. Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Trustee Mitchke. We have a second by Trustee Marshall. Trustees, I was going to ask before we move forward if there are any items that were pulled for a separate vote that trustees that pulled them wish to put back on the agenda. Okay, hearing none, we will move to approve the consent agenda. Please cast your votes.
The motion passes 7-0.
Thank you, trustees. We'll now